managed to be still on mute. So, hi, it's Garry, this time with some sound. Welcome to today's live stream on the 24th of November. So just 1 week left and then my inky countdown starts. And I've just seen some messages coming up. Yeah, I'd muted it whilst I was playing the music and then forgot to unmute it. It's the first time I've tried doing that because I've got a mute button now on my control board. So Garry slaps himself on the head. I would use a wet kipper to slap me around the face, but I don't have any of those to hand. How are we all doing? Weather-wise, let's look at the weather here, then we'll go to the comments. Let me just pull up Safari. There we go, Safari, so goody. So currently here it's 24 Celsius, that's 75 Fahrenheit, and that's at 8:30 in the morning, so going to be a nice warm day. I love the warm days. I've got my t-shirts on, I've got my shorts on, another few of these, and hopefully be able to get the aircon on, because that hasn't had a blow up for a while. We are meant to have some warm days though this week. Let me just go back to the camera, minimize that. So let's hit the comments. So Blonde Scales 1, good evening from Arkansas, welcome to you, just making sure it came up on my preview. We've got Alia Rose, greetings from gloomy Pennsylvania. Oh dear. I know weather. I know I talked about the weather a couple of days ago from my daughter in the UK. She sent me a photo of and a little video, and it was snowing in the UK. And me and my wife were talking, and we can't remember the last time that it snowed in November in the UK. Normally, you think January and February time. But yeah, November and snowing, we could not believe it. David, hello to Blonde Scales 1 from Central Texas, where it's perfectly clear and beautiful, 68 Fahrenheit, which is 20 Celsius. Again, that's quite nice. Blonde Scales 1, get much snow? I know, is other places, are they finding that the snow's a bit early this year? It just seems a bit weird. Andreas, hello all from a rainy and cold Melbourne. 19 Celsius, 19 today, 39 yesterday. Can't wait to get back to Brisbane. Yeah, when we lived in Melbourne for a few years, and people say, in Melbourne you get all 4 seasons in one day, and it's true. I mean, we had one day, it started off at like about 39, and by 4 o'clock in the afternoon, it was like 15. I mean, the weather just does change. I did see some videos from the was it That Pen Bloke and Just Turnings, and I think was there a Pens by Casey when I looked at from the Melbourne Pen Show. So hope everybody who's there is having a good time. Alia Rose to Blonde Scales 1, about half an inch. That's not too bad. Jim, good evening from Harper's Ferry. Welcome to you. We've got Ted for coming in from Seattle. And then Blonde Scales 1, 3 flakes would have people here panicking. I bet they would. I do remember many years ago, we were living in Melbourne, and on Christmas Day, I think it was up in the hills near Dandenong, or in the Dandenong area, that there was a news report saying they had snow on Christmas Day, and we were thinking at the time, we said to ourselves, hang on, we're in Australia, we haven't come here for snow. David, left at 6 p.m. for Dromgools, was second for Kurt Spear, a genius who made 4 of my pens like new. Speaking of new, I've got the new Mont Blanc Origins Coral Solitaire. Awesome. Chris, good morning from a waterlogged Toowoomba. Alia Rose is super jealous to David. David, cheers, Chris. David, hi, Alia Rose. Alia Rose, oh no. No volume from Chris. Check your mic. Yeah, silly Garry. We got David, we got Alia. And then eventually when I figured out I hadn't pressed that button, we get a big yeah from David. Ricardo, good morning from wet London. Did you get any snow in London? That'd be interesting. Marie, hi from Michigan. Blonde Scales 1, broke a tooth the other day. Oh, that'll be expensive. Jim, 46 Fahrenheit, that's 7.7 centigrade where he is. WV, West Virginia, I want to say, but I might be wrong. I should write a list of these, shouldn't I, and have it in front of me. Alia Rose, the snow allowed me to don my new Lord of the Rings Arwen coat, so it worked out awesome. Oh, I bet that would be brilliant. I see the adverts for a new Lord of the Rings film. I think it was coming out in December, an animated one from Peter Jackson by the look of it. So that's going to be interesting. I'll wait till it comes on streaming. I haven't been to the cinema for years. I find that because I've got a surround sound system. I've got I think it's a 50-inch TV. Don't really need to go to the cinema. I can wait a little bit and just watch them from the comfort of my own home. Ricardo, yeah, some snow was here in London. In 25 years in London, I've never seen it this early. Yeah, I say we used to live, well, I'm saying London, we used to live in Mitcham, which is essentially one of the suburbs, which is near Wimbledon and Croydon. And very rarely did we have snow. We used to have lots of ice, obviously. But I reckon snow maybe, if I want to say 5 days a year, where there was some snow. And it wasn't ever really anything other than just a little covering. Blonde Scales 1, better snow than freezing rain, absolutely. Alia Rose, to Blonde Scales 1, hard agree. Let's refresh the comments. Kathleen, aloha from the sunny Maui, Hawaii. Welcome to you, Kathleen. Jim, yep, West Virginia. Blonde Scales 1, yeah, I'd rather spend the dollars on pens, but oh well, I know. This is the problem, isn't it? Things always happen at the worst time, especially like the run-up to Inky Countdown and the very festive season. Chris, the first Lord of the Rings movie was an animated thing in the 70s. I think they only did the first book and then ran out of funds / interest. Yeah, I watched that years and years ago. When I was still living in the UK, I'm going to be talking, most probably, it might have been in the 80s, but I think it was in the 90s. There was a local video rental place called Movieland, and I remember renting it for a whole £1 for one night. And watching it, and it was a bit disappointing because it was as if it got cut off partway through the story. So yeah, I do remember watching that many moons ago. Jim, streaming with a big screen TV is the way to go. Absolutely, especially now. I mean, the TV's 4K, although I don't really sit that close enough to benefit from 4K. But at least I know it's coming through in the best. And the thing that I watch the most on it, YouTube. I love watching YouTube on it. I just sit there, go through, watch them. The only downside I found with watching YouTube on the TV, it's hard to do comments. You do your thumbs up quite easy, but doing comments is very difficult. So yeah, most of the videos I watch, they're either when I'm sat at my desk on my iPad, or if I'm sat in the lounge on the big telly. Alia Rose to Chris, they ran out of a lot of things with that film. Yeah. Alia Rose, it's still fun to watch. And then Chris to Alia Rose with a smiley face there. Let's refresh again. Blonde Scales 1, I remember an animated Hobbit and the Return of the Kings. I don't remember those. Ted, Hawaii must be having amazing weather right now, better than rainy Seattle. Every time I think of, people say about Seattle, my brain automatically jumps to Frasier. We've just finished watching the reboot of Frasier, which is now set back in Boston. They do keep going to a bar. It's a shame they don't go to the Cheers bar, even if it's not the Cheers people there, but it's a shame they couldn't have built a set of the Cheers bar. I think that would have been quite good. David, anyone seen the new Gladiator film yet? Do you know, I think it'd been out 2 years before I saw the first one. I'll wait till it comes on streaming. Ali Rose, the animation on that Hobbit film was a choice. Do you know what I'd love to see? An anime version of Lord of the Rings. I bet that would be awesome. That'd be really, to see the different approach to it. Sorry, going off topic here. Okay, let's head on over to the iPhone and we'll look at the pens I've been using this week. I know I'm dragging it out before we announce the winner of the tournament. So, pens of the week, I'm going to turn it on its side because I'm finding that's just a little bit easier for me to write with. First up, the pen that was used all week for my responses. This is the That Pen Bloke fountain pen. The material is something special, so if you're at the pen show, go and have a look at the That Pen Bloke stand. It's the only one I've got of his pens, but I do intend to get some more. Cartridge converter. Not a lot of ink, so hopefully this will write, and then it's going in the clean out pot. So we've got That Pen Bloke. It's called a fountain pen with a broad nib, and the price for this, I've got the prices covered up. Let me uncover them. There we go. The price for this, when I got it, now that was about 18 months ago, was 170. No, it wasn't. It was 190 Aussie dollars. The ink by Diamine, and it's Yule log. Now there is a nice shimmer in this. I don't think we'll see it today because it's virtually out of ink. And into that clean out pot it goes. The next pen, not going to write with this. This is the Sailor Compass, I believe called a Sailor. No, sorry, this is Sailor Junior. I believe called a Compass in parts of the world. And I can't remember what it is. I think there's another name for it someplace else as well. Steel nib. I like the way we got this on there. I've cleaned this out so there's no ink in it. But it was a nice pen, bit on the thin side, bit on the small side. And I believe it's the same shape and size as a Sailor 1911, the small version. Is it called the slim or the small? That depends we can write with though. So we've now got a Jinhao, and this is a Jinhao 100. Beautiful cracked ice. And here we go. Nib on here is a Goulet broad nib. So it's a Yoho nib. And converter in there. Very nice pen to write with. Very comfortable in the hand. So we've got here a Jinhao. And there we go. Took a little bit to get it going. Jinhao 100. And broad nib. The ink in here is Diamine Arctic Blast. Price wise, for the pen, you're looking about 23 Aussie dollars. Obviously, you would pay extra for the nib. Just going to do this scribble. This should be a sheening ink, and it should also have some chameleon in there. So let's give that time to dry. So that's that Jinhao 100. Let me just move this. There we go. There we can get my script. Next up, we've got the Hongdian N7. Piston filling pen. The only piston filling pen of today's selection. The rest of them all cartridge converters. That's right. I'm just quickly looking. I'm trying to keep an eye on the comments. So if I ever go quiet, it's because I'm just trying to read something to see if I need to jump onto that now. Here we've got this beautiful peacock colour. Nice fit in the hand, nice comfortable pen. And here we've got a Hongdian nib. So we've got the Hongdian, very smooth nib this. Hongdian N7 with a fine nib. Price wise, you're looking about 45 Aussie dollars. The ink in here is by Diamine. Strange that, isn't it? Diamine ink. And it's Garland. So this is a shimmer and a sheen ink, but with it being a fine nib, not sure how much of that shimmer we'll see. So again, let's do a quick scribble there, then we can have a look. Leave that time to dry as well. We'll come back after we've written and just have a quick look at those. Coming up next, from Narwhal, we've got the Narwhal Key West. This is the Isla Morada. As you must be able to guess, my theme, these are the pens that you'll see in December. Obviously, I start my month a little bit early because of my recording timelines. So this is, again, one of my festive selections. This is really picked because it's got this beautiful like sparkle to it. This gold colour and the gold sparkle. I've got the purple version of it as well, which I can't remember what it's called at the moment. When this runs out of ink, I may ink the purple one up and fetch it in this place, but we'll have to see. The ink is getting quite low already. I've quite enjoyed writing with this. It does have some problems, so I do get some flow issues with it. So this is the Narwhal. And it's the Key West. With, I believe it's medium nib. Let me just check my notes. Yeah, a medium nib. Price-wise, you're looking at about 89 Aussie dollars. The ink is by Diamine. And it's Fortune's Gold. And again, let's do a scribble because this is a chameleon ink. Just checking my notes out. So that's that Narwhal Key West. Up next, we've got the Ranga Santa. Definitely a pen to fetch out in December. I've only seen it one year when it was for sale. As soon as I saw it, I grabbed it. So keep an eye out on their group buys. That's where I got this from. There were a number of different colour combinations. So I may be tempted if they fetch it out again to get another one, but I'm not sure. I really like this. The nib on here, we've got a Yoho nib. I decided to go for a Yoho nib just to play around with the nibs. And it's a 1.1 stub. See, we've got here, I've been doing this because in here we've got a shimmer ink. So this is the Ranga Santa with that 1.1 stub nib. I love the line variation. Price wise, when I got this was about 2 years ago now. It was 145 Aussie dollars. And the ink, Diamine. And it's tinsel. I love the way the line variation works on this. It looks so nice. Let me just, there we go, do that again and see if we can come back and see any of that shimmer. So that's the Ranga Santa. He says trying to put the cap on. There we go. Then the final pen for today. This is the Conklin Durograph. I think the pattern's called Forest. Very similar in looks in terms of that Jinhao 100 and quite similar as well to the Hondian N7. On here we've got a Conklin medium nib. By saying Conklin nib, it's made by Yoho. Now I do have some issues with this with flow. So what I did yesterday is I pulled out the nib and feed. I've shimmed through the tines. I've tried to make them a little bit wider because they did feel very tight. I also, with a craft knife, I've tried to deepen and slightly widen the ink channel on the top of the feed. That doesn't seem to have done anything to fix the flow issues I was having. So my next step, I'm going to see if I can get a replacement Yoho nib in there. I've got a couple, I'll take one from one of my other pens because I've read somewhere that a lot of the issues is the feed. So let's give that a bash. So we've got a Conklin Durograph. And price-wise, we're looking at 157 Aussie dollars. The ink by Diamine, and it's Yuletide. Because of the flow issues I've had in this, I've just put a standard ink, so there's no shimmer, there's no sheen, there's no chameleon. Just a standard ink, and I do like the colour of Yuletide, and I think it matches quite nicely. So let's see how that one goes. The issue I've got with the flow I normally find after about 10 words, it stops writing. So all I do is I do a couple of shakes like this, and it starts writing again. So it's not a major issue. Oh, pardon me. So it's not a major issue, but just something I need to be aware of. So let's go back. Can we see any of that? There we are. Wow, look at the Arctic blast. Helps if I get in the camera, doesn't it? Loads of like beautiful red sheen there coming through. Then other way I've done it in that swatch, is that like a blue there coming through as well? With the diamine garland in the N7. Again, we're getting nice red sheen coming through. I don't often see the shimmer in this. It's like a blue shimmer when I do see it. With the Key West, the diamine Fortune's Gold. Hard to capture this one on camera. If you've seen my shorts where I've had this, you'll see you can actually see when I do a zoom in on the nib, around the nib there's this beautiful like green shimmer particles. With the Ranga Santa, again, not much coming through. Getting here where I did my scribble, we're getting some nice, like a coppery, pinky coppery colour coming through. Then, as I said, the Yuletide, that's just standard. So let's go back to the camera. Give my nose a quick wipe. And let's head on back up to where we were. Miss Marilyn Darling, hi Gary, hi everyone, welcome to you. Bolon Skills 1, it was this is talking about that Hobbit film, I believe, the Rankin Bass animation. Marilyn, you're early. Alia Rose, hi Miss Marilyn Darling. Jim, hi MMD. Chris, I'm an anime version, hobbits with big heads and furry feet. Yeah, that'd be good, wouldn't it? Ricardo, hi to MMD. Alia Rose, Blonde Skills 1, Legends, no. Alia Rose, Miss Marilyn Darling, sorry. Then we've got some more hellos. Let's just quickly jump on through. Let's get back to the comments. Where are you? I pressed the wrong button, so it's gone all the way down to the bottom again. Chris, I've got a few notebooks from China. Pleasantly surprised with the quality of the paper. Absolutely. I think Chinese notepads, as long as you're careful with what you buy, you can get some really, really good stuff. I've had a couple which were really... I'm trying to think of the best word for it. The only word that comes to mind is crap. But then I've got some, wow, they're really, really good, really nice. Jim got the one called the Compass 1911, so that's that Sailor. And it's the Sailor 1911S, that's that small version. Alia Rose, I'm down to 17 desk pens inked from over 30. Rehabilitation is possible. Yeah, I counted up yesterday. I'm up down to 22 now. Once I've cleaned out that pen's work, that'll be down to 21. My aim over the next month or so is I want to get down to less than 10 if I can. Don't know if it'll happen. Why I want to do that is obviously we've got all these ink vent inks and colour vent inks coming up, so I want to have a nice wide selection of pens to pop them in. Tom, oops, sorry I'm late, don't worry about it, Tom. And then we've got a hi to Tom. Ricardo, the Sailor, Profit Junior Profit have the same with a medium F Fude nib. Yeah, I think these only come with medium fine nibs. This one's not a Fude, but yeah, it's definitely a medium fine. I use it every so often, but I'm not into fine nibs. That's the only real downside with that. Tom, hi to Alia Rose. David, let me zoom. What is everyone's opinion on Noodler's ink? I keep hearing a wide variance of opinions from great to ones of signs of the apocalypse. What do you guys think? Yeah, I've only got two. I've had a couple of samples, but I've only got two inks. The inks I've got is Navajo Turquoise, which has now been renamed to something else, and I think it's like Turquoise of the Mesa or something like that. I'm not 100% certain, but the bottle I've said it's Navajo Turquoise. And then I've also got It's hidden behind the board. A bottle of Heart of Darkness. My favourite black ink. I don't use black ink very often though, and because I've got so many Inkvent ones, I want to use them up. But I've got, the bigger bottle, about that size, which I've only filled about 3 pens from, of Heart of Darkness. Blonde Scales 1, I've been bad and let some pens sit too long. Yeah, what I've got on the is I've been going and trying to do that, and I'm trying to say to myself now, if a pen's been inked up for 2 months and it's still got the fill in, why have I got it still in my inked pens? Because I'm obviously not using it. So I'm trying to be a bit harsh with myself. I say my aim, get down to under 10 by the end of the year. David, I've got some Noodler's ear links which have lubricant for internal pistons. I'm struggling today with words. For internal pistons, but I keep getting warned to avoid it like the plague from people who know what they're talking about. I don't have any of the ear links, so I can't really comment on that. One of the things that came into mind, the words. As you know, I've now got my Inkvent, and I've been recording my Inky Countdown video. So I've got 6 recorded now, and one of them, one of the colour vent ones, I read out the description, and on one of them, I'm not going to tell you what it is, but there's a word which is really badly put down on the paper. You'll see it on that particular day. And not only that, I cannot pronounce the word it's meant to be. I took about 5 takes and I thought, stuff this. So I gave my own interpretation of the word. So that's some fun you've got coming up. I can't remember what the day was. David to Tom, hello, my friend. Alia Rose to David. Noodlers has sketchy quality control, and Tardif is not a quality individual to support. However, everyone can buy whatever. Yeah, there was a big thing, was about 18 months ago, and that's when he ended up renaming some of them. And the ones I know that he did rename was Apache Sunset and Navajo Turquoise, but I can't 100% remember what they were renamed to. I've only had the 2 bottles, so I can't comment too much about the quality. Jim, I've got a few bottles, but the one to be careful with is Bay State Blue. I hear lots of people talking about Bay State Blue and how it stains. Blonde Scales 1, I've got no problems with the Noodler's inks I have. Ted, I've got over 30 inked pens, which is an impressive number. Ali Rose, I think my record might be in the low 20s. Yeah, it's so easy to keep inking pens up. That's why I'm having to really struggle at the moment, as I would just want to get them cleared down, so I can get some of those Inkvent inks and Colour Vent inks into there. Hi Tom from Ricardo. Chris, Noodler's inks are special. They are great but have problems like staining pens. I have Blue State Blue. It's lovely. Alia Rose, Ted, that didn't count the pens in my journal case. They never count. That's a good idea. Take out them out of running, then you're safer. Jim, my Noodler's go-to is Heart of Darkness. I've got a 16-ounce bottle as well as the 4.5-ounce bottle. Yeah, I do like... Oh, pardon me, sorry. I do like Heart of Darkness. And I say I've only inked about 3 pens from it, but I've always found they worked really well. David, I think I have about 30 inked right now, maybe a few more than that. It keeps going all the way down to the bottom every time I want to move this. Alia Rose, ooh, that narwhal, yeah, that is very nice. It's the Isla Morada. I say I've got the purple version, which is nice. I haven't got the blue one. I think because with having 2, I didn't really need any more because the 2 give me a good idea of what the pen's like. Tom, to David, there are certainly some Noodlers that have issues drying, and many do need to be shook up before using. Nathan, the makers of Noodlers, certainly has some missteps in PR amongst pen. Yeah, he's got some very... I think, would you call them very right-wing attitudes, which did upset a lot of people, I say about 18 months ago. Blonde Scales 1, I like messing around with Blue Ghost at times. I bet that's, I believe, the invisible ink one, where you need a black light to be able to read it. Can't remember last time I played with anything. I must have been a kid, and when you like using lemon juice to write things, and then you got to carefully heat it up to reveal the message. Oh dear. Tom, people on the other hand, there are some really nice colours such as Southwest Sunset. So that's what was Apache Sunrise, Southwest Sunset. Really like that. I've just never bothered with a bottle of it because I say I've got that many other inks to get through. Ted, to Alia Rose, you've given me a good number to shoot for. Tom, to Ricardo, we got an hello. And then Chris, to Tom Morley, yeah, I've got a sample Noodler's Army Green. Takes about a fortnight to dry. I love that. Alia Rose, my Noodler's samples from Goulet Lucky Dip sets were all trash for varying reasons, except the Southwest Sunset. And there are other inks in that colourway. Yeah, I'd say it's like is it like a yellowy orange? I've got a number of other inks very similar to that. David, thanks. I have just had some pen people, including some well-known ones, warn me not to use Noodlers in any of my Mont Blancs or other internal piston fills. Chris, Discworld reference for Garry about a fortnight at F8. Yeah. I'm loving rereading the Discworld books. That's just my tea finished in my Spider-Man mug. Miss Marilyn Darling, either that or a drop of white lightning. Yeah, I think I do need to get some of that white lightning for some of my more troublesome inks. Ricardo, well, I hope that none of the forthcoming Diamine Inkvent inks will take a fortnight to dry. Yes, so do I. I don't think any of the ones I've tried seem to be overly wet yet. I mean, I'm not saying they were dry. They were nice. Annie Rose to Ricardo, perhaps 5 business days. Marilyn, thanks. Garry, you might need to add some contrast to your downward camera. It's a bit washed out. Brilliant. Thanks for that. I will take a look at that. Let me make a note. So I've made a note on that, so I'll play around with that during the week. Chris, Diamine don't do things like that. David to Marilyn, hi there. Blonde Scales 1, I thought things looked a bit off. Yeah, it's a bit weird. I'm just going to switch over so I can see it on there. I don't think I can adjust it on here. I think I have to, I have to adjust it on the actual camera. And I'm not going to mess around with the camera. So that's something I'll look at during the week. Marilyn, hi David. Oops, there we go. Ted, hard to tell colours of inks sometimes on my screen. Yeah, I try to push the camera down fairly low so we get as close as I can. But I will play around with that, see if I can do something to try and help. I might see if I can do something with a white balance as well, because often I find the white balance can really make a difference. Ricardo to Chris, I know. Alia Rose, I'm ready for Colourvent. My son has designed and 3D printed a display rack for it. Awesome! Which was a challenge with Colourverse's weird little bottles. It's modular. What an awesome idea. I think that's brilliant. I don't have a 3D printer. I do keep thinking about it. My problem is I don't know what I would use it for. Yes, I'd use it to print out some things, which would be useful, but I'm not sure what long term I would use a 3D printer for. So that's something I do need to take a bit of a look at. Chris to Alia Rose. Yeah, I did this. I did the same for the Diamine Inkvent. They're still on Thingiverse. I think that's somewhere where you can share the designs that you've made. Marie, I love Noodler's ink. My favourite is Army Green, and I also love Golden Brown. They would be my stranded on an island inks. Awesome. I think I saw, is army green like a heading like towards like a greeny black colour from memory? I did see it somewhere. Marilyn, one of the problems with Noodler's inks is they have a lot of bleeding problems. Yeah. Also, my mouth's gone. Yeah. I've also noticed that when I've used my, I can't remember which one it was. There was another sample I had, but it used to bleed right through the page. Ali Rose, he printed those ones in coordinating filaments for 23, 22 and 21 ink vents. Awesome. Chris, Alia Rose, nice. Alia Rose, and a black and purple sparkling one for this year's ink vent. Brilliant. Yeah, so I don't know. I keep thinking about it, but then trying to get that sort of purchase through the CFO would be quite difficult. Alia Rose, I'm really fortunate he's into printing things. Marie, I get the most value from my Noodler's ink. Great amount of ink for a reasonable price. They are great company. Well, I've just got a very horrid stare through the door. So we've got like the doors between what I call my office, which was a games room, and the kitchen area is it's got like glass panels. And Kira, the dog, has just walked up, because normally she comes in to say hello to me. She must have just got out of bed. She's walked up, saw the doors are closed, given me a vicious look through the door, and now is slowly walking off as if to say, I'll teach you. Chris, Adi Rose sounds like he bought a special roll of PLA to print it with. Ali Rose, I picked it after he gave me the proper parameters to work with his printer. There's so many amazing types available. Oh, that could be another rat hole if I ever did get into that then. Ricardo, for those with 30 pens, just think you have a new pen for every day of the month. Absolutely. Marilyn, one of my favourite things to do with inks that aren't cooperative inks is put some liquid gum arabic in them and use them with dip pen nibs. Yeah, that's a good idea as well. Wendy Sue, Fountain Pen News. Hi friends, welcome to you. Got a couple of hellos there. Mr. Inky Fingers, I hear less and less about them online, but I still love private reserve inks. Yeah, I think they're very much US dominated, I think. Blonde Scales 1, oh, you got the hairy eyeball. Oh, yeah, absolutely. She was not impressed. I say she normally comes in, just walks up to me, gets a little bit of a fuss, as if to say good morning, then she goes. Sometimes I don't see her then for ages. She gets off following Elaine around the house. I think that's the comments. Oh, no, we've got a couple more. Tom, hello, Wendy Sue. And then Ali Rose. To Mr. Inky Fingers, the neon pink private reserve is unique and interesting. Marilyn, I love private reserve velvet black. It dries flat and matte. Right, I'll come back to those in a second. Let's jump on over to numbers. So the tournament, highest number of votes so far in this tournament. This was semi-final number 3. And this very much went almost as I thought it would. When I was doing this, I was thinking the Magico would come out on the bottom, and but still with a reasonable amount of votes, which it has. And then I could not decide between the Lamy 2000 and the Visconti Homo Sapiens, which one would take the winning spot. At the start of the week, the Homo Sapiens was in the lead. But as the week went on, the Lamy 2000 has just started to squeeze ahead. So the winning pen is the Lamy 2000. So let me copy this. Copy, and then head on over here, and we'll paste it. My keyboard's asleep, that's why I'm just using the mouse buttons. So that means that the pens for the final of the tournament, we've got the Mahjong P136, the Platinum Preppy, and the Lamy 2000. So I'm going to be recording that tomorrow, which means that obviously tomorrow will not be a video about the tournament, but that will be going out the following week. So keep an eye out for that coming out in about 10 days time-ish. No, 10, no, 9, 7, 8 days time. I don't know. Me and maths, we should be divorced, I tell you. So let me come out of numbers. Where we go, minimize that and come back here. Had some purchases this week. I've had one purchase come in. Here we go. It won't be till next year that I do the first impressions on this. So this is the Trammell T630. We've got a medium nib on here. And this is a cartridge converter. Nice looking pen, isn't it? I saw it on Fountain Pen Therapy. That's why I purchased it. So that's been good. Other thing I've done this week is my app, which is for Mac or iPhone or iPad. I've released a new version of that this week. So that went out on Friday my time. So that's called Pen List. So I'm ready now to start working on the next version. I've got a couple of things lined up for that, which are all like behind the scenes stuff to try and help with performance. But if there's anything you'd like to see in an app like that, let me know and I can look at including it. Blonde Scales 1. That's the first warning my brother gets from his cat that it's bedtime. Yeah, Kira's really funny. So she comes in, then when it gets to about 11:45, because we normally have lunch about 12 o'clock-ish, she starts hanging around me because I'm the one who does the food for her. Then she disappears to Elaine again. And then normally about 3:30, 4:45, she starts bugging me and hanging around and trying to get my attention. That's because at 4 o'clock-ish is when I go out and check the mail. So I let her go out with me and she does an inspection tour of her territory. So yeah, she starts letting me know to make sure I don't forget that it's time. She's very, very funny. And like even when she's had her lunch, she has a lunch. Then after that, I give her a treat. And so she has a lunch, and then she comes and gets herself sat in front of me and stares at me until I get up and go and give her a treat from the treat cupboard. She is really fun. And like when the other thing she does when we've been out, we come in from shopping or wherever we've been. Coming through the door, I go, and then she literally is hanging around me. I go and empty my pockets, go through, take my shoes off, or my what do they? I think you call them flip flops in the US. I'm not used to calling them thongs here because that's what most of the Aussies around here call them. But if I said thongs, I think people might get the wrong idea. So I take them off, and she's hanging around wanting to be stroked. Then I go and get changed because I wear different clothes in the house to what I wear going out, especially now the weather's getting warmer because I do sweat quite a bit. And again, she's hanging around. As soon as I've done that, I go and get her a treat from a treat jar. And once she's had that, she doesn't want to know me again. So yeah, quite funny. Marilyn, darling, I wish the neon pink smelled like Pepto-Bismol. Oh, awesome. David, didn't I meet you at the Dallas Pen Show? That was to Wendy Sue. Chris, I'm not sure anyone needs that lol. And then David, we've got a lol to Chris Parsons. Let me refresh the comments. Are there any other comments? Then we'll go to Chris. I need Garry's pen database for Linux/Ubuntu. No plans at the moment. I might do eventually. I mean, I know I could dual boot. I could boot up a Linux instance fairly quickly, but I've written it in Swift UI, and the database itself is stored in Apple's CloudKit database. So I'd need to get a relevant API to let me go from Linux to CloudKit. I think there is one I think there is one. It's just getting the time to learn it. Similarly for Windows, I'd love to do a Windows version. I just wish that Apple would let you create like cross-platform apps from Xcode, which is their development environment. Because I'm using Swift UI, I'm using the latest version of the language. It'd be lovely if they did that. But yeah, It's something I'd love to do, but I just don't have the time. Let's do another quick refresh. Andreas, I'm back. I just smuggled my Melbourne pen show haul through security. Apparently fountain pens look like stabbing weapons. Absolutely they do. Jim to Chris, are you using LibreOffice? Chris, yeah. I used LibreOffice quite a few years ago because that is cross-platform. But because I'm all in on Mac, I personally just use Apple's iWork suite, which is iWork Pages, Numbers, and Keynote. As you may see, you've seen most of the apps at one time or another. The one thing I do wish they had, and I know it's LibreOffice, but I've never had much fun with it or much joy with it, is I wish there was an affordable version of Microsoft Access for Mac or something like Microsoft Access. Now, I know there's FileMaker Pro. It's just bloody expensive, so I won't pay for that. Because I've got a lot of things where, I've just got little databases that I want to create. I don't like using numbers. I know I could use numbers and lookup. There's some functioning numbers that I can use. I just wish there was Microsoft Access. I love that's one of the few apps I miss from Windows is Access. Alia Rose to Andreas, I have indeed stabbed my hand multiple times with nibs. Wendy Sue, no, I wasn't at Dallas this year. Blonde Skills 1, the nibs are pointy, so they must be a weapon. Andreas, I'd love the app in Android, Garry. Yeah, again, similar thing. I'd love to do it. It's just, it's time. I don't have any Android stuff to test it on. My last Android device was a Galaxy Note 3 from about 10 years ago, and when I got my iPhone I recycled it, so I don't even have an Android phone I could test on at the moment. But yeah, again similar, I'd love it if Xcode would allow to cross compile, or if there was some way that I can import the Swift UI into it's Android Studio. I can't remember the name of it. I have played around with it, but at the moment they don't use that. I think Android you have to mainly use Java. Not possible, but we'll have to see. Blonde Scales 1, my first pen is the only one to stab me so far. Awesome. David, for anyone in South Central United States, Kirk here will be at Drumgulls again next month, either the second or third weekend after he was here for the last 3 days. That's awesome. I think that's brilliant. That is popular enough that he's going to be able to come back for you. David, him being available like that is rare 2 months in a row. Wendy Sue, David, you may have seen me on a couple of podcasts recently. I think Wendy Sue was on the Apple Boom one a couple of weeks ago from memory. And there was another one. I can't remember what it was, but there was another one. Jim, LibreOffice does have a DB part of the suite. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I've never had much luck with it, although I haven't tried it for a few years. Let me make a note. That might be something worth trying. The LibreOffice. I remember LibreOffice, before it was LibreOffice, it was, I think, OpenOffice. DB like Access. Why I love Access is, obviously, my background is IT. And when I first started working many moons ago, the project I was working on used something called Ingress. And those who have been around a while may have just heard of that. There was Ingress and there was Oracle. Ingress was Computer Associates. Oracle was Oracle. The project I was on was using Ingress. So I started off working in relational databases, and I moved from working in Ingress to working in Oracle for quite a few years. Again, relational database. So my thought processes is always around relational databases, and maybe that's a slight issue with the way that the Apple stuff works. I use it as if it's a relational database, but you can use it as if it's there is a different thing. I know I'm going very techie here. But yeah, that's just my way of thinking. That's why I end up preferring them rather than oh, Gary, what's the word you're looking for? Rather than the object-based ones, which I think is what they're now. I did work with an object-based system for a while. Just didn't like it. David, okay, that might be it. He just rang a bell. Annie Rose, treat for dog with stink eye. Thank you so much for that. Very much appreciated. That's a super chat. Really do appreciate that. Wendy Sue, gourmet pens and friends is the other one I did. Yeah, I knew I'd seen it somewhere. Chris, I remember Ingress. Yeah, I loved Ingress. I really did. I've got to be honest, I can never understand why Oracle took off and Ingress didn't, because technology-wise, Ingress was so much superior. It just didn't have the marketing. It didn't have the support behind it that it needed. Ingress, for those that liked it, did merge into an open source project, or did morph into an open source project called Postgres. So I have used that a bit, but because I'm sticking with Mac, so I'm using my Cloud DB. But yeah, I have used Postgres quite a bit as well. Chris, showing my age, absolutely. I know what you mean. Jim, I remember Ingress as well, so I'm not the only one. Awesome. Okay, let's head on over this time to Keynote. Let's get it up. Start it playing. And press the right button. Last week's videos. So Monday we had Fountain Pen Tournament semi-final and number 3. As we're seeing the winner of there, the Lamy 2000. Pardon me. Oh, sorry about that. Wednesday we had my inked pens that aren't in use or aren't being used for a video. As you would have seen with that one, I've actually managed to cut them down quite a lot. Then Friday, we had the first impressions of the Mahjong P139 with a Fude nib. Very nice. It's a number 6 size nib. A lot of the people that I've seen reviewing that model over the past month or so, they've all seemed to go for the number 8 nib. I say I went for the Fude because obviously I'd seen them doing the number 8 and I thought, well, that's different. You know, different enough that hopefully people might want to watch it. I might get another 139. Chances are not till the middle of next year with the number 8 nib on to try it. But really impressed with the Fude nib. Really enjoying it. Upcoming videos. So on Monday, so that's tomorrow my time, that pen bloke pen that I showed earlier on, I'm doing a fountain pen focus on that. That's where we do a bit of a deeper dive into it. So we'll be focusing on that. This is part of a series that I'm doing where I'm focusing on the Australian turned pens that I've got, culminating on the I think it was going to be the 26th of January. It's now going to be the 27th of January, where I do a quick wrap-up of them all. Wednesday, pens in use wrap-up. We see how I got on with my pens last month, or this month. Depends how you look at it. Friday, pens in use for December. I'm calling it Festive Combos. So you've seen some of them. Another one I've got here, which, let's go back to the camera quickly. This is a Bennu Talisman Dragon's Blood. Beautiful pen. I love this. I love the way it looks this time of year. Where am I going back to? Keynote. Then Saturday, members only. It's December's Ask Me Anything. I know it's in November. It's the last day of November. But I didn't want the other members only one to be too close to Christmas. That's why I put it there. So Saturday will be members only, Ask Me Anything. So membership, I know I should talk about this more often. Membership's available. If you're able to support the channel, it's very much appreciated. Members get a couple of, they get this Ask Me Anything video, which is members only. They get, every week they get my Pens of the Week video. So what you see in the intro, they get the full version of that. And they also get access to all my videos, most of my videos, 2 days in advance. So the Monday video is already out for members. Wednesday's video goes out to members on Monday, and so on. Ink events, you won't get them early. They'll all come out at the same time to everybody. And then also once a month we do a 30-minute Zoom chat with members, so members can join and we just have a chat. Especially handy when I can get my mic working, which didn't work very well the last time. Book of the week. So I finished Night Watch by Terry Pratchett. It was nice just seeing how Commander Vimes was essentially teaching Commander Vimes. Really interesting. And then I've started The We Free Men. I'm about a quarter of the way through The We Free Men. That's, again, it's nice. I don't know if you would say it's more like a young or an elder kid, maybe a teenager type story. But the main thing is, it's the Knack Feedle. I'd love to meet one of the Knack Feedle, I tell you. Once I finish that, I'm guessing I'll finish that Wednesday or Thursday. I'll be going back to Terry Goodkind, and it's the first of the Nikki Chronicles, or the Chronicles of Nikki. Can't remember the name of the book, but it'll be a Terry Goodkind book next. Head back to the camera. Let's just close this. Head back to the comments. Jim, I'm an IT guy as well, but my field was communications. Yeah, I had a friend when we lived in London. He worked in the communication field. I know he used to go all over the place doing voice over IP systems. Alia Rose, the number 8 nib is very nice on the Mahjong. Yeah, I'll give that a try. Simply Orbs, hey there, Gary. Welcome to you, Simply Orbs. Hi to Hall, Alia Rose. Again, we got another hi. Chris, damn it, now I'm installing LibreOffice Base. I really didn't need another project. I know what you mean, but it's a relational database. How can you go wrong? Especially if you're doing data analysis. I used to love, if I was doing any form of data analysis, I would see people doing all sorts of stuff with spreadsheets, taking ages and ages to do it. I would just load it up into maybe a couple of tables, or a number of tables in Access, write a couple of quick queries, and within half an hour, bam, I was done. I'd say horses for courses. David, when's the next Zoom and how do we find out about it? So the next Zoom will be, he says, getting into another database. Just 1 second. So I've got another app here. And is it on here? Have I got it on here? No, let me go to the schedule. No, yeah. No, search. Sorry, I know, not very. Let's swap over. I don't mind sharing this. So this is another app I'm working on. This isn't on the App Store. I'm still working on this one. So I want to see for pen reviews, and what I want to do is look at members. So as you can see, I've planned out for the next year. No, it's not members. Have I got a Zoom call one maybe? Member calls. There we go. So the next one is on the 14th of... No, it's not. It'll be about the 13th of December. I don't know why I've got there. Let's change that whilst I remember. So it's the 13th of December. Don't know how I managed to get that. Anyway, it's another app I'm doing. So 13th of December. And then what I do... that's what I want. What I do is on the Wednesday or Thursday, I can't remember which day it'll be, I'll put out a short video on will be members only. It's only about 30 seconds long, And then I also put on the YouTube community page a members only post, which is there to, with all the details. So both the video and the YouTube and that community post will have all the details in. Simply Orbs, hey there, Alia Rose. Ricardo, hey Simply Orbs, and then we've got Simply Orbs, hello there to, hey there to Ricardo. Let's do another refresh. And another hello there. Andreas, I just bought my first 3 Australian pens and talked to all the makers. There were some stunning options by Pens by Casey, Platypus, and that pen bloke were the winners today. Awesome. That's he says my brain's gone dead. I've got a pen by. I've got a. It's in my pen case. It's my Pens by Casey. I've got Platypus Model 10 in green, and I've also got, well, as you've seen, that pen bloke pen. Really nice bloke. Simply Orbs, we need to collaborate and learn Swift coding. I love Swift. I've been doing it now for about 7 years, but I think I'm not using it to its fullest extent. I do need to really learn more of it. I just use it very similar to how I did other things, so it's very much like object-oriented based, and I don't think I'm using a lot of the power, although I'm trying to do that. So with each iteration of the app, I'm trying to do some behind-the-scenes stuff. So won't mean much to anybody else, but the planning one I've just shown you, that's all using Swift UI and Swift Data. So and my pen list one, that's using core data, but I'm planning to convert that to Swift Data in the next release. So yeah, there's more techie crap. I know techie crap. That's what I describe it with to my wife, because as soon as I start saying anything like that, she goes, "What?" Jim, glad I could help. Chris, lol. Tom, hello to Simply Orbs. We've got some more hellos. How are your travels going? Jim, I'm loving the Platypus Model 20. Yeah, I think that Platypus pen's a brilliant idea. I need to get some more 3D printed pens. I think it's an awesome idea. That might be a reason why I could say to my wife, I need this. And maybe try making my own 3D printed pens. Tom's back from Puerto Rico. Right, that's the end of the comments. So I'll do my goodbyes and we'll come back to the comments again. So thank you all for your time. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Thank you for joining me. I really do appreciate it. Please hit the thumbs up button every time you like, every time you comment. Just helps really with the YouTube algorithm. The algorithm's really weird. It really is. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. As I've already mentioned, memberships are available. Anything that comes into the channel goes back into the channel. So, yeah, please, if you're able to support, very much appreciate it. Back to the comments. Blonde Scales 1, I'm with her on the techie crap. Marilyn, bye everyone. Happy Thanksgiving. Yeah, is it Thursday? Then is it Friday? Is Black Friday? Over here in Australia, I don't know why. They've all started doing Black Friday sales already. I think a lot of them got confused and thought it was the Friday just gone. Marilyn, see you all hopefully next week. Andreas, to Jim, I got the Model 21. Very similar, but with a Bock nib. Awesome. I think mine's a Yoho nib in my Platypus. Thumbs up from Marilyn. Chris, 3D printing is a steep learning curve, but very rewarding. Yeah, I say I've got the problem is getting it past the CFO. Tom, to Miss Marilyn Darling, yes, happy Thanksgiving to all. Cheers, you everyone. Ali Rose, have fun and be careful. Blonde Skills 1, have a great week all and a safe holiday for those in the US. Ricardo, thanks Gary for the live chat. Have a great weekend, everyone. Chris, thank you, Gary. Have a great week, everyone. Do another refresh. Right, that's them all. So thank you all for your time. I will leave the comments open whilst the outro's playing. No technical issues this week, apart from me forgetting to turn the mic on, which was good. So thank you all, and I'll talk to you again soon.